Alyssa Farah Griffin accuses Ron DeSantis of erasing Black history. The View co-host Alyssa Farah Griffin is facing backlash for accusing Republican Florida Gov. Ron DeSantis of erasing Black history with his opposition to the AP African American History course. The View co-host Alyssa Farah Griffin offered a mea culpa after she faced backlash for making an erroneous claim about Republican Florida Gov. Ron DeSantis. On Thursday's broadcast, Farah Griffin accused DeSantis of erasing Black history for opposing the AP African American History course, which had a curriculum he said included a political agenda. After Fox News Digital ran a report Friday morning about the fiery criticism she received, Farah Griffin took to Twitter and acknowledged she accidentally misrepresented DeSantis, a lightning rod for criticism in mainstream media and a rumored 2024 presidential hopeful. The View co-host Alyssa Farah Griffin accused Florida Gov. Ron DeSantis of erasing Black history. The View co-host Alyssa Farah Griffin accused Florida Gov. Ron DeSantis of erasing Black history. Screenshot/ABC News. DeSantis office rips The View host for her dishonest and incorrect claim he's erasing Black history. So I got tripped up on a point DeSantis/AP Black history on air and accidentally misrepresented what the governor is challenging, Farah Griffin wrote Friday. It's more narrow than how I framed it, and while I still personally disagree, I own that I explained it wrong. She continued, my mom always taught me that when you're wrong admit it, say sorry, and get it right next time. DeSantis press secretary Brian Griffin, no relation, replied, accidental misrepresentation is a bizarre phenomenon in corporate media that seems to happen a lot when talking about @Gov Ron DeSantis. Truly inexplicable. Nonetheless, thank you Alyssa Farah for correcting the record and speaking up for the truth, the press secretary added. DeSantis tied with Trump, everyone else far behind in fresh 2024 GOP presidential primary poll. While Farah Griffin offered the apology on Twitter, she made no on-air mention of the error during Friday's broadcast of The View despite the show's multiple references to Black History Month. Notably, the reach of The View audience, which averaged 2.4 million viewers at the end of January, according to Nielsen Media Research, is much greater than Farah Griffin's Twitter following, which is less than 104,000 users. DeSantis' office told Fox News Digital, the right thing to do would be to make an on-air correction but suggested her tweeted statement correcting the record was enough. ABC News declined to comment. Republican Florida Gov. Ron DeSantis blocked the AP African American History course for pushing a political agenda on students. Republican Florida Gov. Ron DeSantis blocked the AP African American History course for pushing a political agenda on students. AP photo/Lynn Sladky, file. Thursday's conversation began with co-host Whoopi Goldberg suggesting DeSantis and Republican Arkansas Gov. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, both of whom are aiming to uproot critical race theory ideology from their state's education systems, were scared of something they learned about Black history as students themselves. What Ron DeSantis did with banning AP Black history that is going way further than what many members of my party have raised concerns with, Farah Griffin said. So there's a lot of parents who get concerned with elements of critical race theory getting into schools. I think it's an important distinction because what he's doing is so absurd. And it's going so far. DeSantis' office blasted the host's comments, telling Fox News Digital they were both dishonest and incorrect. Marjorie Taylor Greene claps back at View hosts for mocking her SOTU outfit, challenges them to debate. The Florida Department of Education's website states that studies of the history of African Americans must include the history of African peoples before the political conflicts that led to the development of slavery, the enslavement experience, abolition and the history and contributions of Americans of the African diaspora to society. Legislation signed into law by DeSantis in 2020 requires the teaching of historical events including African American history. At a press conference last month, DeSantis said his state's educational standards require teaching Black history and slammed the AP course for pushing an agenda on our kids which included queer theory, intersectionality, and abolishing prisons. The press secretary for Florida Gov. Ron DeSantis thanked The View co-host Alyssa Farah Griffin for issuing an apology over her erroneous claims about the Republican. The press secretary for Florida Gov. Ron DeSantis thanked The View co-host Alyssa Farah Griffin for issuing an apology over her erroneous claims about the Republican. James Gilbert/Getty Images. Farah Griffin worked in the Trump White House but has become one of the former president's fiercest critics. Her about-face on Trump helped her land a token conservative seat at The View in place of Meghan McCain, who left in 2021. Farah Griffin frequently attacks her own party on the show and has been far less likely to clash with her left-wing co-hosts than McCain, whose tiffs with Joy Behar and Goldberg were a near-daily occurrence.